Hey y'all, it's Miss Roberts, and today we're going to go over the ReadWorks text, A Tricky Move. Now, reading the title, A Tricky Move, I can already predict that something's going to be moved within this story. And tricky, I think about if something is maybe hard or difficult to move. So I've kind of already got that idea in my head that they're trying to move something that could be hard. Now that we have an idea of what we're going to read about, let's go ahead and dive into the questions. Now, these questions focus on making an inference. Now, we know when you make an inference, you have to use the text. You have to use what you read, and then you have to use your schema. You have to use what you know about what you read, your background knowledge. So we need to read the questions to make sure we know what information to look for. Number 1, the bell was moved from Independence Hall to Liberty Hall Pavilion and later to the new center built by the National Park Service, probably in order to, so I'm thinking I need to figure out why was it moved. Number 2, we can assume that if the sensors had sounded an alarm during the moving of the bell, Liberty Bell, so what's the reason the sensors would go off? Number 3, the reason the bell traveled for 30 years all across the U.S. was. So why did it travel? Number 4, the huge bell can be easily damaged because. So what makes it so easy to get messed up? And number 5, why do you think the author began the passage by comparing the bell to moving a piano? So now that we have our information and our questions, we know what details to pay attention to as we read. If you think moving a piano is tricky, try moving the 2,080-pound Liberty Bell. The bell, one of America's most enduring symbols of freedom, had to be moved from his second home at Liberty Hall Pavilion in Philadelphia to a new building down the street. Why the change of address? The National Park Service built a new center for the Liberty Bell. Movers wanted to make sure that no additional harm was done to the bell's famous crack. During the move, scientists attached tiny sensors to the mostly copper bell. The sensors would sound an alarm if the bell's famous crack got bigger. The bell is fragile because of the way it was made, said one scientist. This wasn't the first time the Liberty Bell was moved. From 1885 to 1915, the Liberty Bell traveled across the country, visiting more than 400 cities and towns, including Chicago, New Orleans, and St. Louis. Workers also moved the Liberty Bell in 1976 when it was taken from Independence Hall to the Liberty Hall Pavilion. Okay? Now that we've read through the text, let's dive back into the questions. Number 1, the bell was moved from Independence Hall to Liberty Hall Pavilion and later to the new center built by the National Park Service, probably in order to make it more convenient for tourists to enjoy. So convenient means make it more easy. That could be a possibility. You know, we read that they built a new center. So I'm thinking if something is newer, it could be sometimes better. B, to give it better security protection. Well, that could be a possibility too, back to our idea that newer sometimes can be better. C, to get a bigger display space around it. Well, if it's bigger, more people or more tourists would be able to enjoy it. D, all of the above. So since we're all kind of like on the fence about A, B, and C, the best answer would be D. Number 2, we can assume that if the sensors had sounded an alarm during the moving of the Liberty Bell, well, if we look back in paragraph 3, it says the sensors would sound an alarm if the bell's famous crack got bigger. So if there was more damage to the bell. So if it sounded an alarm, A, the bell would have to be replaced. No, not necessarily. B, the bell would have been moved to a different place. Well, they're moving the bell already to the new center, so they wouldn't need to move it again. The movers would have check the bell's condition. Well, condition is how it's made or how it's holding up. Or D, the bell would have been broken in two. Well, so if the bell had broken in two, they wouldn't really need an alarm for that, right? Because you would have seen this big old bell fall or break apart. Correct answer would be C. Number 3, the reason the bell traveled for 30 years all across the U.S. was to repair its large crack? No, because I can infer that, you know, this is an old bell anyways with a crack. So the more times it was moved, maybe it would, you know, it has more chances to get messed up. So they wouldn't just to repair it. B, to inspire pride and patriotism. Well, pride can be a synonym for proud. So you're really proud of your country, maybe, because it is a big historical figure. C, to keep it from being destroyed. No, that wouldn't really make any sense. I feel like it would be safer in one place. D, to earn money for its upkeep. I don't think money's the issue here. The correct answer would be B. 4, the huge bell can be easily damaged because of its age. Maybe. Put a little star. B, the difficulty of finding heavy moving equipment. No, I don't think that's the issue because they've moved it so many times. C, the metal it was made of. Copper. It says it was made of copper bell. I don't think that would be the reason why. Or D, the way it was made. Well, so now A and D. Now, yes, if something's really old, wouldn't it be easier to mess it up? But D for the bell would be the better answer because it was made long, long ago. And it already has that crack, which is significant to the bell. Correct answer will be D. Number 5, why do you think the author began the passage by comparing the bell to a moving piano? Well, this is going to be hard. I can't give you one direct answer because I know this is a short answer, so y'all have probably all said something different. But when I think about what you know about a piano, well, it's big and it's heavy, right? Well, we know that about a piano. With this bell, we really didn't have an idea, right? We only know that it was 2,080 pounds. Well, as long as you put something about helping us visualize the bell and how hard it would be to move, give yourselves a check. All right, let me know how y'all did in the comments below. And I will talk to you next video. Bye.